So we're going to begin today with lesson number 1 on the fiddle. And one of the things that I've often talked with people about when they're talking about learning the violin or learning fiddle, and I get these people coming up to me all over the place that are curious. Man, I've always wanted to learn it, and they often ask me, what is it that is like the main thing or the hardest thing? And someone actually asked me at church just the other night, and I would say that the bow is the hardest part, which is kind of funny because so many people would think, and I would think this too, and even through the years I've struggled with the focus on the fiddle or the violin and the fingering and where it goes, the form of it and everything. I would encourage everybody who's learning this very special instrument to work on the bow first and always be what I call a bow focused violin or fiddle player. So the bow is, as you can see, we've got the stick, we've got the wrap over here, the beautiful wrap. We've got the frog over here. We have the screw, which loosens and tightens the hair. And we have the tip down here, and usually it's horsehair. Sometimes it's a kind of replacement style of hair. But anyway, we basically need to learn how to hold on to that bow in a way that allows you the flexibility to do everything you need to do to get that music out in the very best possible way. So what I'm going to do right now is encourage you to follow along with how I'm holding the bow at the very start of it. So I'm going to take the stick in this left hand over here. I'm going to grab on and squeeze it. If you're left-handed, you'll do it the opposite way, and you can still benefit from the videos. Now we're going to hold that stick with the left hand, and I'm going to grab over here with the right hand. You'll notice there's this tiny little bit of wood in between the wrap, which is this black leathery part, and the frog. There's a tiny little bit of wood, and I put the... Howdy folks, I have a ukulele here in my hands, and I'm giving away this first free lesson so you can try out the ukulele a little bit and get a feel for my teaching. I have my violin series. I'm coming up with a guitar series soon. These are all going to be something you can subscribe to, and I'm going to recommend ukulele as an instrument that is the easy way of getting into music. It's not totally easy because there are lots of challenges, but this very first lesson I'm just going to go over some basics and sizes. And here I have actually my daughter's beautiful mahogany. This is a breedlove, but it's the tenor size, beautiful, wonderful, warm sound. Tenor is larger, more like a tiny guitar, and they go down to concert, which is a little smaller, and then soprano, which is very small. It's usually like something you might be in Hawaii and pick up one at a little market or something. And that's what Israel, the wonderful musician singer that passed years and years ago that did the beautiful Somewhere Over the Rainbow. He's an icon in Hawaii. We love his music and his beautiful singing. And he used a soprano, and that's very popular. A lot of people have seen those videos that he made, the recordings he made. And we also have a lot of other fun representatives of or examples of ukulele being played by different people in different songs. So it's a great starting instrument. I started my own children when they were very little. It's like the easy way to play a guitar and getting into music, learning your rhythm, learning your basic chords, learning to sing along with an instrument, learning scales, even to read music, and you can do that all on the ukulele. Now, I like this particular size because it's a tiny bit more like a guitar because of size. So, but concert is my number one recommended one because it's a little bigger than the smallest ukulele. And it's a great, and what we're going to do is start with some of the good handholds and form. And I'm going to show you where I'm at with my guitar. Normally, I recommend placing it like this. Classical style is kind of like that, which is harder for country and jazz and things like that. But classical form is good for classical finger picking, finger style. So I hold it like this, mostly up and down, not coming out a whole lot down on the bottom. And then over here with my left hand, I do more of a classical handhold, a classical guitar handhold. So I've got my thumb on the back of the neck. I have my fingers over. Sometimes we do put the thumb up over for certain chords, like this chord. This is a D with F sharp and the bass. So the thumb comes over. And so every so often you will use your thumb coming around, but normally the thumb just sits in the back of the neck.
Fingers go over the strings like this. The wrist kind of comes a little bit out down there. And then you're able to have the freedom to reach those chords. Not everybody uses that particular form on left hand, but I like it a lot. It works really, really well. The other thing is I always seek to keep my back straight when I'm playing. And now we're going to deal with the right hand. So normally, and if you looked at my free ukulele lesson, I've showed people how to kind of do a pretend pick hold. So if you actually had a pick in your fingers, you would be holding it like this, crosswise, the thumb and the index finger. And then you kind of curl these fingers around. What you're going to do is strum over the middle of the sound hole. So what we have is a very